Brigadier Gininda, if we can start with the entries on your 2020 diary for the 30th and 31st of May 2020.
Yes,
Advocate Nisi asked you, I think it was on the 2nd and the 3rd of June, about the entries of your diary on those specific dates, the 30th and the 31st of May 2020. And he asked you to read certain portions of your entries on the 30th of May into the record.
I do recall, my lord, that's correct.
Manje ngesikhathi sokuthi ithimba labashushisi noma mhlawumbe umshushisi abuye futhi abuze ke imibuzo ke ufakazi manje uyasho ukuthi yena lapho ke ucela ufakazi ukuthi abheke ke lapho ke diary yakhe ama entry khona ke nelanga la nge-30 zaka May futhi nelanga la nge-31 zaka May ngomnyaka 2020 la dabuza khona ke imibuzo ke abameli.
And you testify that you made these entries as the events unfolded. In other words, those were contemporaneous notes.
That
is correct, my lord.
Then Advocate Nisi also cross-examined you on the events of 5 June 2020 regarding the pointings out.
Bese ke umnumzana kumnisa ubuya kubuza ke imibuzo ke ngelanga la nge-5 manana nodaba lwelanga la nge-5 zaka June ke la zaka June ngomnyaka 2020 la kukhonjwa khona ke.
That is correct also, my lord.
You testify that you also documented the events of the 5th of May, 5th of June 2020.
Futhi wakhulu matsho khona nje wayebhala ke zonke ke igameko zenzeka mhlawumbe izinto zenzeka ngelanga lenge-5 zaka June ngomnyaka 2020.
That is correct. Insofar as the arrangements with Colonel Hatebe, my lord, for the pointing out, and Sergeant Mokhane.
Athi yebo ke kunjalo wabhala phansi konke kade kukhona noma kade kuxhumana kwabo ke phakathi komnumzana uColonel Hatebe futhi no Sergeant Mokhane.
Now, just to give proper context to your entries, can you please just place on record all the entries that you made on this date, starting with the 30th of May, 31st of May, and 6th of June. My lord, this extract of the diary has not yet been handed up as exhibit. It was extensively referred to.
Yeah.
We just check in the last exhibit number. Perhaps we'll just make it double Z. Yes, if you can just go ahead and read it in the record.
All right, my lord.
Langa la nge-31 zaka 30 ne-31 zaka May ngomnyaka 2020 futhi nangelanga la nge-5 zaka May ngomnyaka 2020.
30th May, my lord, it says duty on Phosphorus case 636 of 10 2014, and then it says at 1400, so 1410, it says got a report from Captain Yende and Mokula that suspect Muzi Sibiya has been arrested for the case of drug dealing and possession of unlicensed ammunition. I went to interview, no, let me read it. I'll give it to you. I went to interview the suspect at Phosphorus around 1900 hours. The suspect implicated himself in the case after he was warned according to his rights. Colonel Mboto on numbers also, number 082-778-7901 is requested to assist with the confession. He agreed, says suspect must be brought to Deep-Proof ACPS 30 May, and that is in bracket, my lord, 30 May 2020. Then it says at 00:10, 100 hours, this is now the morning of the 31st, my lord. Colonel Mboto say he is done and that I should come get the confession from him directly. Then it says 01:30, duty off. That is the entry of the 30th, my lord.
Article lapho ku brigadier ngelanga lange-30 lokakubhalile. Mana lokho akubhalile ukuthi ke lapho kade asemsebenzini ke ngelanga lelo ke mayana i-case phosphorus case lapho 636/10/2020 2014 athi isikhathi esibhaliwe lapho ke shothi imizuzu eyishumi ngemuva kwehora lesibili ke emini ke lapho ke athi nathola ke lapho uxhumana kade qhamuka phakathi. My apologies, my lord. This handwriting.
Yeah, Mkhula.
Athe khona ke uxhumana phakathi komkoko yeke futhi nomukhula ke lapho mayelana nodaba lakwamsola ke umuzi sibiya owaboshwa ke emuva kokuthina kade ayiphethe ke idakamizwa futhi nesibhamu ke nakhe futhi neyinhlamvu lapho nelicala lapho ke thembisa ke athi la kuyena ke wakutshelwa lapho ke bese emuva kwalokho ke nawe waqhamuka waya lapho ke malana ngesikhathi ke lapho ke bese bakhuluma khona njalo ke ngicala lapho ke phosphorus ke lapho ke athi kade kusikhathi sesikhombisa ke ntambama ke lapho ke la khona komsola washo khona wabatshela yena ukuthi naka unesandla mhlawumbe yabandakanyeka kwicala leli kade lisenzekile khona ke lapho ke futhi wabuya washo njalo ke ukuthi yena my apologies my lord once more
He was warned according to his rights.
futhi lapho ke base bamxwayisa ke malana nodaba lwamalungelo akhe ke ngesikhathi kade senzeka lokhu ke kade senzeka phakathi kwakhe nomnumzana okhona lombotho ke lapho ke ngelanga leli. No.
He was warned according to his rights by me. Then Colonel Mboto on this number was requested.
Athu yena kwamxwayisa ke isilungiso ke lapho ke epolice athu yena ke wamxwayisa futhi wamtshela amalungelo akhe ke bese lapho umnumzana khona Mboto saqhumana ke kule nombolo ezingaphezulu ezibhaliwe ke lapho zocingo lwakhe ke lapho ke futhi emva kwalokho bese kwenzeka lokho okwenzeka ke lapho ke manje nomsola ke ngesikhathi ade kusenzeka lokho ke bese benza uhlelo lokuthi abahlangane naye umnumzana khona Mboto mayicala leli ke ade aqhamukela ngalo ke ngelanga lange-30 zakaMeyi ngomnyaka ka-2020 futhi isikhathi esibhaliwe ke lapho ke u-01:30 elakade aphuma ke emsebenzini.
Then, my lord, the entry of the 31st, it says 11:30 duty on. Then it says as 12 departure to Ayrton. Then it says 19:55 interview a witch doctor that is suspected of cleansing the killers of Senzo Meyiwa.
My apologies, my lord. I'm just asking the brigadier to read paragraph by paragraph because I can't see his handwriting.
Yeah.
Athi ke lapho ke entry ebhalwe ngelanga lange-31 zakaMeyi ngomnyaka ka-2020 kukuthi ngemizuzu ewu-30 ngemuva kwehora laka-11 lapho kade asemsebenzini ke lapho ke bese ngehora laka-12 nake wahamba khona njalo ke bese ngesikhathi saka-19:55 ntambama wahamba wahlangana ke khona ke nesangoma ke lapho ke isangoma esageza ke abasola mhlawumbe igebengu ade zibandakanya ke lecala leli.
The witch doctor by the name of Lionel Zwane confirmed that indeed he was approached by some boys of the Buthelezi surname together with the one that was shown to him.
Athi ke lapho ke empeleni isangoma lesi ke sayenza isiqiniseko sokuthi yena ke salandwa ke abantu bemndeni wakwaButhelezi ke futhi behamba nomunye wesilisa ke kade bemtshengise yena ke ngesikhathi ade befika befuna ukugezwa la ke kuye.
He said they requested that a cleansing to be done. Thereafter, they came
For a job to be done.
for the job to be done. My apologies. Yes.
Athi wacala igama lesangoma ke lapho uLion Zwane ke lapho kwacala ukuthi yayibona ke beze bazogeza ke lapho nokuthi umsebenzi uqedwe ukugezwa kwabo.
Thereafter, they came to. My apologies. I'm missing my handwriting, my lord. They came to. To say that they killed Senzo. He could identify Moses Sibiya as
To tell
one of
him, is it not to tell him? They came to tell him.
Wait, no, my lord, let me just go back. Yes, thereafter, they came to tell him that they killed Senzo. They could identify Muzisibia as one of the people who came to him. Statement taken by Colonel Mutlame, DPCI on 1 June 2020, then it says 01:30 duty off.
Athi-ke lapho ke bafika-ke kuyena bese bamtshela ukuthi uyena wabona-ke ababulala-ke lapho kusenzo Meyiwa-ke bese athi oyedwa wabo-ke yena-ke wamchaza ngokuthi noma wamazi ukuthi umuzi Sibiya-ke futhi athi bona abantu laba yibona abafika-ke lapho-ke bekuyena beyogeza-ke lapho-ke futhi i-statement lesathathwa-ke lapho-ke umutlame-ke Colonel Mutlame walapho-ke DPCI ngelanga lokuqala ngenyanga kaJune ngomnyaka 2020 isikhathi ngo-01:30 akade aphuma-ke emsebenzini.
Should I move to
There's a signature there at the bottom, the signatures there.
Bathi khona-ke umuntu osayindile lapho enzansi ubani wade sayinda-ke lapho enzansi.
That is my signature, my lord. At the time I was a colonel.
Athi-ke ubrigadier uyena kade sayina-ke lapho-ke futhi ngesikhathi leso kade kuwu-colonel.
Yes.
Should I, to what
5
date?
June.
5 June, okay. Then it says duty on, my lord, at 7:30, and then it says morning meeting at NATCOM. This is now the morning meeting at NATCOM office, Pretoria. Then it says the next entry. Okay.
Athi lapho-ke ngelanga le-5 zakaJune ngonyaka 2020 kade baqeda ukushaya ngo-0:30 ngemuva kwahola lesikhombisa kusasa kade esemsebenzini athi athi khona komhlangano kade ukhona-ke lapho kumahhovisi asePretoria eNatcom.
Then it says inform Sergeant Mohane to take suspect Moses Sibiya to Alberton SAPS for a pointing out.
Lapho kwatshela uSergeant Mohane ukuthi athathe umuzi Sibiya amahambise Alberton ethizeni ezohamba ukwenza lokukhomba kwakhe ede ukukhomba khona-ke,
where he'll be contacted by Lieutenant Colonel Hadebe on phosphorus case 636 of 10/2014.
La kade khona kohlelo lokuzokwenziwa-ke lapho kumnumzana uLieutenant Colonel Hadebe emalana icala lase-phosphorus le-case 636/10/2014.
Sergeant Mohane is requested to book the suspect into the holding cells of Alberton SCPS as the Lieutenant Colonel will make his own arrangement to book him out.
La khona-ke uSergeant Mohane bamcela kuthizeni ngafike-ke amfake khona-ke besambhukhe in lapho-ke umnumzana uSibiya-ke uma befika lapho-ke ngaphansi kwesikhumulo samaphoyisa sase-Alberton bese-ke lapho-ke uLieutenant Colonel Hadebe uyena bazofika-ke amkhiphe noma ambhukhe out khona-ke.
Sergeant Mohane was informed on the 4th of June 2020.
uSergeant Mohane bamtshela lokhu ngelanga lange-4 zakaJune ngomnyaka 2020.
Then the next entry says attendant complains with Captain Casey and in Kwamhlanga area.
Lapho kathi wena bahamba baya kumanye amacala-ke lapho-ke no-Sergeant KC lapho-ke bayahamba baya khona-ke kwaMhlanga.
Then reported to NATCOM, and then it says I met a source or informer in the level of corruption and influence. Yeah. I think can I leave? Yeah, can I just leave this because it's a bit sensitive, my lord. But I made an informer regarding some high-level investigations in certain departments.
Athi lapho-ke udaba lolu angathanda ukuthi angalikhulumi la ngaphambi kokuthi ngantoba icala leli elinobungozi futhi elinobuzaza khona-ke lapho-ke la bazokhuluma khona-ke ukuthi wahlangana khona-ke nempimpi ukuthi i-informer wahlangana nayo-ke lapho-ke.
And there's also a signature there.
That is correct. That is correct, my lord. That is also my signature at the bottom.
Bathi khona umuntu osayindile lapho ngabe ubani osayindile lapho kathi uyena kade asayinda khona-ke.
Advocate Nisi also touched on the events of the 6th of June. Did you also make entries, or did you cause entries to be made regarding the events of the 6th of June 2020?
Yes, my lord. I caused entries to be made on the 6th of June. It was written by one of my colleagues, my lord.
Bathi khona-ke la umnumzana umnisi bakhuluma khona-ke mana udaba lwelanga langesithupha ngenyanga kaJune ngomnyaka 2020 abe khona okubhalile yini athi ubrigadier Gininda yebo khona ngikubhalile kepha kubhala omunye oza kwabo.
Who made the entry?
It's Sergeant Mohula, my lord.
Bathi ubani obhalile lapho athi uSergeant Mohula.
After the entries were made, did you have a look at them?
Yes, indeed I did, my lord.
Bathi ngemuva ukuthi kubhaliwe lapho ngemuva ukuthi kubhaliwe lapho ngabe wafunda yini athi yebo ngafunda.
And what was your view of the entries?
Ngabe ibona njani-ke lo mbhalo mhlawumbe lokho kubhaliwe lapho-ke?
They are correct, my lord. They are specific and correct, my lord.
athi ziqondile futhi shares khonkosini.
Yes, you can place that on record.
So it says 07:30, it says duty on, my lord. And then at 11, it says departure to Ulundi, KwaZulu Natal for investigation as per Tembisa case 217 of 3/2019 and Tembisa South 01/06/2020.
Lapho ke ibhalwe khona ukuthi lapho ke 7:30 ade bengena ke emsebenzini ke bese lapho ke emini bese bahamba ke baya lapho uLundi KwaZulu Natal ke ngesikhathi ade bese bosesha khona icala labo ke mana icala sethembisa lapho ke a case number yakhona ke ithi 217/03/2019 bese nyafuthi thembisa so bese ithi 01/06/2020.
And then at 1800 hours, my lord, it arrived, it says arrive at Ulundi and to Mahlabatini.
Lapho bese ithi ngehora lesithupha lantambama bese bafika ke lapho ke uLundi futhi nasemahlabathini.
And
Then
what was the purpose of this trip, sorry, Brigadier?
Yes. So the purpose of this trip, my lord, this was at the stage when the accused, Mr. Sibiya, had brought or has made an indication to bring a bail application on the case of drug dealing in Tembisa. As part of that investigation, then to verify his address, this was the purpose. And the two cases that are referred here, one relates to the drug dealing, the other one relates to the ammunition that he was charged for. So it was the verification of address. I think I've touched base on it during my testimony, my lord.
Bathi kade kuyini inhloso lo hambo lwenu lolu athi kade bekwenza isiqiniseko sekhili la kaMnumzana uSibiya ke lapho malana namacala kade aboshele wona ke lapho ke Thembisa ke icala lokuqala lokudala isidakamiswa noma icala utholakala phethe idaba futhi icala lesibili kade leli lokutholakala phethe isibhamu futhi nezinhlamvu ngaphandle kwamaphepha amnikeza ilungelo ukuthi aphatheke lokho ke athi lapho kade bekhona ke ngoba uMnumzana uSibiya kade enza isicelo sakhe sebhili ke lapho ke futhi bafuna ukwenza isiqiniseko sakhe sekhili sendawo ahlala kuyona.
Then, my lord, at 23:30, it says departure to Johannesburg. Then at 06:30, this is the morning, arrive back in Johannesburg.
Bese lapho ke ngemizuzu ewu30 emuva kwehora la 11 ebusuku kade behamba lapho ke eDurban eKZN bese ke ngesikhathi sango semizuzu ewu30 emuva kwehora lesithupha la kusasa ke kade befika lapho ke eGoli.
And then it says arrive back in Johannesburg and continued with investigation as per Tembisa case 217 of 3/2019.
Lapho ke wafika ke lana eGoli bese ngemuva kokuthi afike eGoli aqhubeka kwenza ukusasha kwecala lela sethembisa le case number lapho ke 2170/03/2019.
Thank you.
Yes, and then it's duty off, my lord, at 11.
Bathi ngehora la 11 kade ashayisa ke emsebenzini.
Thank you. Now, in cross-examination by Advocate Nisi regarding the events when you engaged with accused number 1 after his arrest on the 30th of May 2020, you testified that this engagement or this interaction with accused number 1 was at the parking area of Vosloorus police station, and that this interaction took place at the back seat of a red Golf that was driven by Sergeant Mohola.
Athi ke ngelanga lange5 lade kube khuluma khona ke uMnumzana uMnisi ngesikhathi bohlangana khona ke nomsola uqala noma uMnumzana uSibiya ke uthizena hlangana lapho kweparking lot yaseVosloorus la uma khona ke imoto ngaphambi kwesakhiwo noma isakhiwo sesiphoyisa khona ke lapho ke futhi ade behlezi ngemuva kwemoto kathi red Golf lapho ke.
That is correct, my lord.
Athi yebo kunjalo.
And that after the introductions, you read accused number 1 his rights, and that he was suspected of being involved in the death of Mr. Senzo Meyiwa. Is that correct?
Lapho ke imoto kade ishayela ke isilungisa nje kuphela kade ishayela imoto khona ke bomvu red Golf ishayela Sergeant Mohola bathi ngemuva nihlale khona lapho ke emotweni wazazisa ke na ke ngemuva uzasikela bese wamtshela malana nodaba lamalungelo akhe ngabe kuyiqiniso lelo.
It is correct, my lord, in the sense that after I was introduced, I warned him according to his rights, but the proper sequence is that then I asked the members to excuse me, and then I then warned him according to his rights again, eliciting the responses, and then thereafter, I then put the question that I have a reason to believe that he may be involved in the killing of Senzo Meyiwa. So the killing part came after the members have left, my lord, when I was with him.
athi lapho kwacela ke abozakwabo ukuthi zamdedele bahambe bamshiyeke nomnumzana uSibiyakhe lapho ke athi ngemuva ukuthi yena kaselele nomnumzana uSibiyakhe bese aqala ke ingxoxo yakhe manje bakhulumisana malana bakhuluma mathupha naye umnumzana uSibiyakhe ngesikhathi bakhuluma khona njalo usomtshela malana udaba lwamalungelo akhe futhi uthi yena kade anentsolo ezikhula ukuthi yena ke umnumzana uSibiyakhe unesandla ekuziyeni koSenzo Meyiwa washona ke lapho ke.
And you testify that accused number 1 implicated himself.
That is correct, my lord.
Ukhuluma ufakazi ukuthi umnumzana uSibiyakhe yena oyifakile kule cala athi yebo kunjalo.
And this aspect is also documented in your diary, exhibit ZZZZ.
Athi lo nkulumo ikhona ngaphansi kwediary yakho ngaphakathi kwemibukiso ka-ZZZZ.
That is correct, my lord.
Athi yebo kunjalo.
Now, you told the court about the arrangement that you made with for his confession. After you had received the confession, exhibit FF from Lieutenant Colonel Mboto,
Athi lapho bosokhulumile nodaba le-confession le confession le eyenziwa ke umnumzana uSibiyakhe lapho kuyenza kumnumzana uColonel Lieutenant Colonel Mboto ke wela ngaphansi kwemibukiso ka-exhibit FF.
Yes, my lord.
Athi yebo kunjalo.
yes. Now, the contents of exhibit F, how did it compare with what he told you when he implicated himself?
Bathi mina nodaba libhaliwe lapho ngaphakathi kwemibukiso ka-FF ewela usuthi la i-confession awayenza ke mayelana nenkulumo le awakutshela yona uma ngabe uyiqhathanisa ngabe yini khona ke phakathi kuzona.
It correlated, my lord. It was just there were more details on exhibit FF, my lord, than what he told me. But the essence of him implicating himself, the role he played, where they got the instruction to commit this murder, the issue of the traditional healer, and the payments, which he made me aware of, that was contained. But there were more details than what he told me verbally, my lord.
Athi konke lokho kuyahambisana ke uma ngaba kubuka ke inkulumo yakhe kayibhalile ngaphansi kwe-confession ijulile futhi kachaze khona ke izinto ngendlela ezenzeka ngayo ke futhi wakhuluma ngokujula ke lapho ke kepha athi uma ngabe ubuka ke inkulumo yami la angitshele yona ke mina njengofakazi mathupha ke lapho ke akukho nje ukujulila malana nodaba lenkulumo ke kepha uma ngabe ubuka ke amaphuzu akhuluma ngawo ukuthi nakho banda unesandla kanjani ke ekushonini kamufi ke nokuthi imali nokuthi mhlambe umyalezo bawuthola kubanike lapho ke futhi ukuthi imali bayikhokhelwa imali engangane futhi nodaba labo lokuhamba besiya kule nyanga ethizeni bageza khona ke athi nalezo zikhona ngaphakathi kodaba lo awalikhuluma naye mathupha kepha akakaze abhale konke noma lokhu nenkulumo le yabhale yonke ngogcwele ngaphansi kwe-entry diary yakhe.
Now, in cross-examination by Advocate Nisi, he puts the proposition to you, even yesterday, that the interaction with accused number 1 took place at a secluded spot near the police station.
Athi khona inkulumo phambili la khona kummeli kamele komnumzana uSibiyakhe ukuthi la inkulumo yenu yenzeka kwindawo ethize eseduze lapho ke kwi-parking yakhona indawo engajwayelekile.
No, yes, my lord, that was put, but I disagree. It was not a secluded spot. It was a parking, which is in an open area. There's no obstruction in terms of building or structure there. It's right at the beginning of the police station, and that's where we met, my lord.
Athi yebo inkulumo le bayikhulumile kepha cha akusinjalo ke athi ubona ke ngesikhathi behlangana bahlangana lapho phambi kwesakhiwo sase police station futhi abo parking lot yakhona ke futhi athi alikho ibuilding ebhilidi elibavimbayo ekuthizini bangabonakali ke ebantwini futhi akunalutho olivimbayo ekuthizini bangabonakali ebantwini yindawo ke nje ephephile futhi evulekile.
We just want to refer to the proceedings of 22 January 2024 at page 62 from line 14 up to line 19. If you can just, it's Mr. Mgomezulu, cross-examining you, if you can just put the contents on
bathi khona ke udaba lona ade kuzibuzo lapho ngosile angasekho ke umnumzana uNgomezulu ke ngelanga la nge-22 ngenyanga kaJanuary ngomnyaka ka-2024 lapho kukhasi le-60 lapho kumabuka ukubuka ke lapho kumugqa we-14 ke kuze ificeke lapho kumugqa wes-19.
So it reads as follows, my lord, Mr. Mgomezulu. Then it says, rephrase it. At Phosphorus Police Station on 30 May, when you were interacting with accused number 1, I am saying whatever that he said to you was an informal process because for you to legitimize that process, you had to get somebody who must take a formal confession. You agree? And then my answer is I agree, my lord, but should I
Yes, no, that's fine.
Is that fine? Okay.
wathi khona ke inkulumo lana umnumzana uNgomezulu ke wayikhuluma ke kuwena kwathi rephrase ke ngesingisike lapho ke athi ngesikhathi kade nilapho ke ngapha noma lapho ke Phosphorus Police Station ngelanga la nge-30 zaka May wena ke ngesikhathi bokuxoxisana khona ke nomathupha nomnumzana uqala noma nomsola uqala ke lapho ke athi nawe uthi marana udaba olunye nolunye lulo that alusho kukhulu kuwena ke kade kudaba lapho ke olusemthi noma athi kade kudaba ke lolo kade lu formal ke lapho noma udaba shuthi kade liqondile ke lapho ke bese wathena ke ngoba wena wenza lokho de wenza ke noma inhlelo zakho kungakho wathola ke umuntu umuntu esibethize nabe khona ke ekhatheni confession athi yebo kunjalo.
Now, was it ever put it to you by Mr. Mgomezolo that this interaction with accused number 1 took place at a secluded spot?
No, I have no recollection of that, my lord.
bathi ngabe lokho wakhuluma yini umnumzana uNgomezulu ukuthi le nkulumo iyona eyenzeka kwindawo engajwayelekile athi cha akanako ukukhumbula malana nalokho.
Now, in cross-examination by Advocate Nisi about the involvement of the SWAT team members, you testify that this was an elite unit that you used for escort purposes.
bathi mana nodaba lo SWAT team unit lo umnumzana usikade akhuluma ngalokho ukuthi wena uthize ade nosebenzisa kuthize baniphilekeze shuthi lapho ke banigade njenge escort.
That is correct, my lord. That's what I've said. They are an elite unit and trained in terms of combat. That's where their strong expertise are, my lord.
athi yebo ke kunjalo yibona ke abatrainee mhlawumbe abaqeshiwe bana nomsebenzi wabuthizeni benze lo msebenzi lowo ke.
Now, this SWAT unit, where is it from? Is it part of the South African police, or what is the position?
Le SWAT unit ngabe mhlambi abanye bengxenye team baleziphoyisa noma.
No, my lord. So they do functions under the Police Act, but they are a team under Ekurhuleni Metro Police. So within the Metro Police, within the Metro Division, within the Metro Police Division of Ekurhuleni, then this team was then in existence at that time. So they are an elite unit, a highly trained unit, basically similar to us. In the police, in the South African police, we have the Special Task Force. In their division, the highly trained elite unit was the SWAT team. So they are part of the Metro Police under Ekurhuleni and not necessarily the police, but they have the same powers as us in terms of the execution of their duties.
athi ithimba leli ke le SWAT unit ithimba lisebenza ngaphansi kwe-Ekurhuleni Metro Police futhi bona kuqeshiwe madana nomsebenzi wabo abawenzayo ke lapho ke futhi lapho ke elite team lakhe lapho ke athi uma ngabe uwaqhathanisa nethimba labo lezesiphoyisa ke ungaze usho ukuthi baqeshe bafana ke nethimba lezesiphoyisa SWAT unit ne
SWAT, yeah.
other subs is compared
force.
athi cishe afana ke ne-task force kuma ngabe uqhathanisa nethimba lezesiphoyisa futhi athi bona ke bona baqeshiwe ke ethizeni ke bezomsebenzi wabo kepha ke bona basebenza ngaphansi kwe-Ekurhuleni Metro Police.
And also, my lord, there was a memorandum of understanding between us, being the South African police, and them in terms of the assistance in other matters, and they were also assisting other divisions as well, other than my unit.
athi ade khona kokuzwana phakathi kwabo ke lapho ke futhi ade belekelela ke bonkana bezesiphoyisa kepha bengalekeleli ithimba lakhe lezesiphoyisa kuphela.
Now, in cross-examination by Advocate Nisi, you testify that you deploy them in this matter because of their tactical skills.
That is correct, my lord.
lapho umnumzana umnisi ukhulumile ukuthina kana wona ke wabacela ukuthi bakulekelele ngoba kade benesipiliyoni esingaphezulu athi yebo kunjalo.
But why were they deployed in this particular case? Why did you enlist their services?
ungani bocela ukulekelelo lwabo namhlanje ke yebo ukuthi ungani bocela ukuthi bakulekelele.
In other words, what was the need for you to engage their services in this particular case?
Usuthi bekuyisathu sinike senze ukuthi wona ucela ukuthi bakulekelele kuleli cala leli mathupha.
It was really safety, protection, and escort, my lord, because it became abundantly clear as we're embarking on investigation that the environment and the places that we will have to go into during the course of investigations were dangerous places, and they had the skills should such arise to provide such security, my lord.
athi imbangela ukuthi ocelekela abantu laba ukuthi babalekelele ekuthizini bahambe baye lapho kade beya khona ukuthi bona bakade belungiselela ukuthi ngabe bangahlangabezana nezingqinamba noma ke nenkinga ke ngoba kade ngaphiphile kwindawo kade beya kuzona ke kungakho bacela ithimba leli ekuthizini ke lebaphelekeze ngoba kade beltrainile noma kade belitholeka mhlawumbe uqeqeshwa mana uthizeni benza umsebenzi wabo ukulekelela abantu uma ngabe besiya kwindawo ezingaphiphile.
In cross-examination by Advocate Mnisi, you testified that you used Constable Monaring to escort accused number 1 to Colonel Mboto, as Constable Botelezi told you that he was not on the shift that day, but you also testified that Constable Mapumlo accompanied Constable Monaring to Deep Kloof. What was the position of Constable Mapumlo?
Bathi ngabe kade kuyini ke isimo sakumnomzana Constable Maphumulo ngoba uyena kade khona ke phelekeza ke lapho ke umnomzana ngesikhathi kade behamba bese lapho kumnomzana Colonel Mboto.
My lord, I suppose it will be to assist Maphumulo. What I recall in terms of what I've said, I do know that Constable Monaring was accompanied by another member, but I remember in my initial testimony I was not sure in terms of the recollection of the second member, but I do know that the member that was with him, it was really to assist him. And it's a routine, my lord, that such members, especially in that division, they'll always have more than one member for backup. It's a routine thing. Like police officers, in such an environment, they'll always work as a group. So I do know that he was accompanied by one of his colleagues, although at the time, during the time of a trial within trial, I may not have remembered the name of Maphumulo.
Athi ngesikhathi kade kuqala ngaphakathi uqala bayangeke alikhumbule kahle hle igama likaMnumzana kuMaphumulo lapho uthize kade ngabe uyena eqinisweni kade aphelekeza ke omunye uMonare ngesikhathi ethi behamba ngibese lapho ke futhi athi into ejwayelekile ukuthi uma ngabe besisebenza ngaphansi kweziphoyisa ke umuntu angahambi edwa kepha bahambe beyithimba ke uma ngabe siya kunakuphi nakuphi ke uma besenza kusesha kwecala noma kuphina kwecala.
Advocate Nisi further put it to you that accused, just before we get to that, in cross-examination by Advocate Nisi, he put it to you that you went along to Deep Kloof when accused number 1 went to make a confession to Colonel Mboto, that you were present at Deep Kloof police station when a statement was taken from him.
Futhi umnumzana umnithi ukutshela ukuthi wona ke kade ukhona ngesikhathi bethatha istatement kuwena ke futhi bohamba nomsolo oqala ke ngesikhathi umsolo oyokwenza iconfession kumnumzana uMboto.
Yes, my lord, that was put to me, but it's not true, my lord.
Athi yebo lokho lokubangitshelile kepha akulona ke iqiniso.
We're going to show you the extracts of the court record on the 22nd of January 2024 at 60. If you can just read the contents thereof on record.
Is it the highlighted portion?
Yes, the highlighted portion.
Okay, it says, under Mr. Mgomezulu, rephrase it. At Phosphorus Police Station on 30 May, when you were interacting with accused 1, I am saying whatever that is said to you was an informal process because for you. Okay, it's the same part that I read, madam. Should I proceed to the bottom one?
No, yeah, the bottom one, sorry, is lines, the last 3 lines.
Yes, my lord. So it's under Mr. Mgomezulu, and then it says, yes, what I want to put across to you is that what Mboto or Colonel Mboto has to done with accused 1 and you, and has to done with accused 1 and you were not present cannot be an evidence by you to confirm that the provisions of section 217 were compiled with. That from you, it is a hearsay evidence.
lapho ke khona ke inkulumo kade ikhulunywa khona kumnumzana ongomezulu sila washona ke lapho ke ukuthi yebo nanoma yini engitshela yona ke ngesikhathi noma kade utshela yona ke lapho ke umnumzana ke umbotho noma ukhulana lombotho ke lapho ukuthi ayinalo inokwenza lapho mana nomsolo oqala ke khona kade ungekho ke ngesikhathi ade kusenzela futhi akubonaka ufakazi lobo ke ngoba wena ke futhi awunaso ngoba kumele awunaso iqiniseko salokho malana nomthetho owela ngaphansi ko section 217 futhi awukazi usebenzisana ke nawo nomthetho lo ke futhi futhi le nkulumo leyo ke inkulumo futhi wona uzwile ke ngomunye umuntu mhlawumbe ungizwa nje kuphela ubufakazi mhlawumbe ufakazi.
I think that should not be understood very bluntly. Remember, even the version of accused number 1 is to the effect that at a particular time when they were at Deep Kloof, when they were in that house with a safe, an office with the safe on top, there was a point where Mr. Gininda actually went out and he was left with Mr. Mboto. At the time at which Mr. Mboto started to talk to Colonel Mboto, started to talk to him, holding those papers close to his chest and writing, Brigadier Gininda wasn't there. So what Mr. Ngomezulu put on record there, that is exactly, it's an indication of what I'm trying to, of what I am explaining now. Not that Brigadier Gininda was not at all there at Deep Kloof. It should just be understood contextually, my lord. Thank you. I just wanted the record to reflect that. Thank you.
That's a good place, I think it's a point that my learned friend can argue at the end of the case. Brigadier Gininda, we also wish to draw your attention to page 60, the last 3 lines, the next to Ngomezulu. If you can just put that in the record, page 60. It'll be from line 23 to 25. Next to Mr. Ngomezulu, they highlighted page 60.
Yes, Mama. The highlight portion. So Mr. Ngomezulu said, yes, there is one thing that I just want to conclude on the aspect of taking off the, I think there was a disturbance in my note. It is an obvious question. It is an obvious question that you were not present to prove that accused number 1 gave that confession freely and voluntarily when he was, there's interruption, the allegation that he made such a confession, you were not physically present.
Athi lapho umnumzana uMezulu kade amtshela ke manje Baloyi kubhaliwe lapho ku page 60 ke lapho ke ukuthi yebo ngesikhathi ethatha confession kade ungekho ke lapho ke namnumzana futhi into ejwayelekile leyo ke nombuzo atubuzwa ke lapho ukuthi wena ke ngesikhathi kade beqedela uDabalulu ke njengofakazi kade ungekho lapho ke nomsola uqala ke ngesikhathi la peace noma ngesikhathi beyenza confession futhi awunaso iqiniso ukuthi lokho akwenza ngokuthi mhlawumbe akunike emcabangweni wakhe mhlawumbe azikhethele ukuthi akwenzeke lokho ke kade khona ukuphazamisana kade khona ke lapho ke futhi bathi mina ney'nsolo ezade bemsola ngazo azenzile futhi akule confession ke bathi ufakazi ade ngekho yena ke mathupha lapho.
And should I read the next highlighted portion? The next one, that is by me, my lord. It says, I was not with Colonel Mboto. I agree, I was not there. But if you say to me, my lord, the confession was, okay, the highlighted portion ends there, my lord.
Yes.
Uthi ke babuginini noma beqhubeke efunda ke lapho ukuthi yebo ngangikho ke lapho ke nomnumzana uColonel Mboto ke lapho ngiyavumelana nawe noma ngiyavuma ke lokho ke ngangekho naye kepha uma ngabe inkosi enkantolo isho lo ukuthi confession bese yaphela khona lapho ke.
Advocate Niso also put it to that accused number 1 was transported in the Fort Ranger to Deep Kloof to make a confession to Colonel Mboto on the 30th of May 2020.
Khona kumnumzana khona kumnumzana usibiya wathi nakade bemhambisa ke imoto ku Fort Ranger ngesikhathi bekahamba ke ekwenza ke confession ke ngaphambi komnumzana lapho ku Colonel Mboto ke ngelanga la nge-30 zaka May ngomnyaka 2020.
That is correct, my lord.
Athi yebo kuyiqiniso lokho.
we just wish to draw your attention to the proceedings of the 5th of February 2024, page 30. From lines 1 to 4, if you can just put that on record.
So the proceedings of the 5th of February, my lord, 2024, page 8 under Mgomezulu reads as follows: were you transported with the same Golf 7? Accused number 1, the response is yes, it was. Others, there were cars behind and there were cars in front as well.
bathi mayelana nenkulumo ke eyashicilela la ngaphambi kwenkantolo ngelanga lange-5 zikaFebruwari ngonyaka 2024, umnumzana Mngomezulu wathi ngesikhathi kade behambisa ke wabuza ukuthi kade behambisa ke ngemoto yodwa i-Golf 7 ke lapho ke bese umnumzana wakho umsolo oqala athi yebo kade kuyiyo ke lapho ke kepha abanye kade belandela ke ngemuva ngemoto zabo ke futhi abanye kade beshayela la ngaphambili kithi.
Yes, and that portion, the other portion that is highlighted.
So then it says accused 1, so that's page 37, my lord, of the same proceedings of the 5th of February 2024. Accused 1, there, my lord, I was then transported in the red Golf. There was also a Nissan that is now who formed part of the vehicles that were escorting us, and then I just noticed us driving into Valeria police station.
Kukhasi lesi-37 ke lapho ke ngalo leli langa nge-5 zakaFebruwari ngonyaka 2024 la khona ke umsolo oqala athi yebo athi inkosi yenkantolo kade khona ke imoto kade ngihambisa ke lapho ke kade umuntu ke kade i-Red Golf ke lapho ke kepha kade khona ke enye imoto kade khona lapho kade kuyi-Nissan futhi kulathi yena ke ngesikhathi kade bebona lokhu ke kade khona ke ezinye imoto kade zikhona ke lapho ke ngesikhathi kade bemphelekeza ke lapho ke athena kwamba wayibona siyafika lapho ke eshara ke imoto lena ke befika lapho ke Valeria police station.
Scott, please, my lord, it's almost time for the long adjournment. Can we take the long adjournment at this point? It's about 4 minutes to 1.
Okay, 2 o'clock then.